So let's just take a quick step back. Let's talk about the cookieless world. Let's talk about cookie extinction, right? We could go all the way back to the late 90s, I think was the first lawsuit. I think it was the United States against Metrics around cookies. But the concept of the cookie, whether it's first or third party, has been an issue since digital analytics moved from log files to the browser. But we've really seen over the last 6 or 7 years some major changes in terms of cookies moving from being controversial to cookies kind of being dead, right? And this began back in 2016 when the EU adopted GDPR, which is a wide-reaching and quite assertive in terms of penalties program around individual data privacy in Europe. It certainly put the fear in everyone in ad tech and martech. We at Napkin spent an appreciable amount of money on lawyers to make sure that we were compliant. And by the way, we were. But it really shook up the worlds of ad tech in particular, martech a little, in terms of what are we capturing? Should we be capturing it? Are we allowing the individual to kind of control their own destiny in regards to their data? And shortly after GDPR came out, Apple started to kind of be one of the marketplace leaders in terms of creating privacy-focused or individual privacy-focused updates to their browsers. A lot of those updates were around ITP or intelligent tracking prevention. And Apple is just way out there at the lead in terms of limiting what cookies can do. I have some theories as to why that is. Chat for another time. Maybe if the world is less weird, we can talk about it in a bar at a conference. But the big thing is that Apple is definitely at the vanguard of limiting what kinds of data can be captured by advertisers. Now, Google's followed relatively closely behind, and to the extent where in January of last year, Google said, you know what, third-party cookies are going to be completely gone by 2022. Now they've obviously updated that and said, add a year and change onto that, it'll be more like 2023. But you can see this progression, this kind of tightening, especially at the browser level, of what kind of data will be captured and made available. And realistically, regardless of how this ultimately has the rubber hit the road in terms of the technology, we're going to live in a world where cookies are no longer really usable by marketers and analysts to look at the performance of digital and kind of go on offense in terms of creating advanced marketing campaigns. So full step, no cookies, right? Like that's really where we're going. It is a little terrifying, especially a little bit as an analyst, again, very much so as an advertiser. And if we kind of look at this reverse funnel in terms of data availability, as more and more cookies are deprecated, first party cookies mostly only last for 24 hours now, as opposed to, a year and change. We've lost a tremendous amount of data regarding kind of customer journey, attribution, things that are pan session or time impacted. All that data is being impaired. Third party cookies are disappearing. We don't get that network level data at all. That's going to impact our reporting. When we're collecting less and we're reporting less, we therefore have less data to turn back around and do marketing with, right? You can't create an audience without data. You can't understand attribution without data over time, right? You can't personalize to users when you can't keep anything about who your users are. This move towards cookieless is extremely impactful. Now, it doesn't mean it's the end of times. We were collecting all kinds of great data before the cookie. We'll collect all kinds of great data after.